This is Atlasco's. Tonight we are live Malibu. Your head is raining again. Third storm to strike at us in less than a week, and all the threats and dangers that come with it. Stand by for that, will you?
And this is a live look outside. As you can see, forecasters warning of intense downpours continuing, gusty winds. I'm told there's even a very small chance of tornadoes. We're talking about up to 2 inches of rain in some areas, and as always, that raises the risks of landslides, mudslides, debris flow. Good evening, everyone. You're watching LA Live News tonight. I'm Phil Schuman. Another wet day and night in Southern California. Yes, we have team coverage. Reporter at Atlasco's live in Malibu, Christina Gonzalez in North Hollywood. But we begin in studio with meteorologist Star Harvey. Says we may actually have some sunny skies in the future, but not just yet, Star.
Oh, no. We're going to be holding off on that, especially for a majority of the area. I'd say the back half of this weekend, where we can expect to see a lot more sunshine in place. As of now, we do have the center of the storm sitting over central California. But again, down here in SoCal, we are taking in anywhere from light to heavy downpours. And yes, we also have some wintry precipitation coming down across the area, snow as well. For instance, up across the 5 corridor there, moving into the Fraser Park area, we do have some snowfall coming down into our Tehachapi Mountains, but also the Grapevine here. Now, we are anticipating that the snow could last across some of our higher elevations into our weekend. Here's a look across our San Gabriels, where we not just have some snowfall coming down, but also we do have some of that heavier rain moving through the Antelope Valley area, so Lancaster, but also Lake LA. Now, LA, immediate area, we do have some light to showers coming down right now. Santa Clarita, we do have a heavier cell that just passed through or just missed you by a little bit, moving off to the east of you. We have plenty of alerts to get through for both flood watch, but also winter weather. I'll be talking about that plus your 7 date coming up. For now, Phil, back to you.
All right, Star, we'll check back with you in a bit. Thank you. We're just an hour away from that flood watch going into effect in LA County. Let's go live to Fox 11's Ed Lascos in Malibu, who's been braving the wet weather for, seems like about a week now. Ed, what's the latest?
Yeah. Seems like that, doesn't it, Phil? The rain, it just won't go away. Well, we've got another storm coming. It has been a soaking rain the last couple of hours here along the coast. I can tell you it is a cold storm this time around. Wind circling through here, and it kind of cuts at you when it goes through. You ready? All right, let's take a look around. Mikey, take us into it. Pacific Coast Highway, I'm sure you recognize it. Across the way, that's the cross here at Las Flores Canyon, and across the way is world-famous Duke's Restaurant, still temporarily closed. They have the K-rails up there. Remember, in the first storm that hit after the fires, that storm in February, they had a big mud flow that came down the canyon that caused all kind of problems here. But so far, no problems on this night. To the video we go. Check it. It has been raining here. Third storm, count them, third storm to strike at us in less than a week. Raining sheets here along PCH, really coming down, huh? And the folks who live here in the fire zones hoping the hillsides do not come down like this. Everybody's sort of holding their breath because the threat continues to loom around here. Caltrans out working like crazy tonight in the rain. Their crews all over PCH, making sure all the drainage ditches are working, carrying off the excess water flow. Even saw some of the heavy Caltrans trucks with their big plows, you know the ones I'm talking about, up on the canyon, Las Virgenes Canyon, right outside the tunnel as you make your way down to Pepperdine toward the coast. That's the area that usually gets hit with those rock slides. No problems that we've been seeing really this hour. Also, I saw some of the city crews up along the highlands in Pacific Palisades working on some of the debris basins there. One of those basins really clogged with lots of mud, thick mud. And when you look at the hillsides all through the fire zone here, they are blackened, they are barren. No wonder it's a looming threat for those who live here that they could come down with all of this rain. Listen.
It can totally wash out at any time. It's precarious along Palisades Drive. It looks like the sides of the cliffs could just come down at any moment, you know.
Very threatening.
It is. It's scary. I'm always paying attention when I'm driving in the highlands.
There's nothing holding them, especially the hillsides here on Sunset. I noticed over here, the apartment buildings, it's kind of coming down. So hopefully they're going to put up some retaining walls and make sure that we're a little bit more protected, especially because I heard we're going to have a lot more rain this year.
There's mudslides all the time. I live up on the top, way on the top towards Saddle Peak, and there's 8 houses in a row that burnt down, so the neighbors are concerned that mud will spread down.
And you bet that is a big concern for all the neighbors through this area. You're looking live, PCH. The rain continues to come down here. When you talk to a lot of the folks here, they are certainly grateful. They've been watching the hillsides, especially as they say their homes survived, but the homes right next to them, they lost those homes in the firestorm last January. And interesting, they were saying, you know, as you can see, this wind really whipping around here. Different type of storm, this one, than the last couple. In any event, a lot of the folks have been saying, Phil, that, you know, we've been dodging a bullet. We've been getting these storms. The hillsides are holding up. And that one nice lady said, you know, with all this rain, sooner or later something's going to happen. So that's why I think a lot of folks in this area, we're just all holding our breath, you know.
Holding your breath, that's a good way to describe it. Ed Lascos, thanks for all that reporting during this difficult time, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for everyone there. You know, we've had a few dry days, but the fresh, wet weather is certainly causing problems for residents across Southern California. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez has a roundup with the latest on today's storm.
Pumps are set up to keep a busy stretch of Sherman Way from flooding.
This is a pumping station that the homeless got in. So they cut the wiring out of the whole station. So there's 2 pumps there that are not working now. So we have to substitute the pump to get the water. It's like 50 by 20 feet deep down there. But everything goes in there. All these streets come in there, so we have to pump out.
And the streets nearby already look like this. Water flowing hard enough to move a bumper and make crossing streets on Lancashire a challenge. One man has to roll up his pants to negotiate getting from one side of the street to the other. And then there's the jump and try not to slip method, and you can feel the exasperation of the mail delivery person assessing the situation before detouring down the street where there's a crossing guard.
It just takes a little bit of rain and it gets flooded the whole entire street.
It's easy to forget closing the hatchback when you are just trying to get things done. Despite the rain, people have to get to work on city buses, and restaurants have to open. And deliveries have to get to where they're going. Don't you just love working in this?
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
He's trying his best. Everybody working in this kind of situation is trying their best, but it doesn't take a lot of rain for it to end up looking like this. So don't forget, pack your umbrella and pack your patience. I'm Christina Gonzalez in North Hollywood, Fox 11 News.
And the storm bringing fresh snow to Mountain High. It's preparing for opening day, possibly Saturday. They're closely watching conditions as skiers and snowboarders are anticipating fresh powder.
So many kids that have never seen the snow that live down below that they want to bring their kids up to, you know, build snowmen. And they also have the, you know, the Yeti Park up at Mountain High to bring the kids up and to do snow play and to do tubing. And people want to go ski. They want to be out in nature. They want to get away from the city, away from their phones, and they want their family to be involved in that.
Ah, yes, away from their phones. If you're headed to any of the ski slopes in Southern California anytime soon, obviously you know to check the conditions. Make sure you have chains with you and know how to put them on, or be prepared to pay somebody to put them on. If you want to track the storm, head to foxla.com. You will find interactive radars, a 7-day forecast, and much more. Also, we'd love it if you downloaded our mobile app. Now at 9:30 on this Thursday night, make it stop, please. We're continuing to track in another storm as it continues to wash over all of us here in Southern California, bringing heavy rain, lots of snow in the mountains. But we're almost at the end. Yes, conditions expected to dramatically dry up this weekend. Welcome back to LA Live tonight, LA Live News tonight. I'm Phil Schuman. We have a lot more team coverage on the storm. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live in the LBC. But first, we're going to once again check in with the hardest working woman in television this past week, meteorologist Star Harvey, with yet another check on our forecast. Star?
Oh, I love the way you set that up here, Phil. Now I got to make sure it's true. Let's go ahead and check in with our satellite and radar. Very active here, pretty widespread activity. We are expecting this activity to come down to about scattered in the next hour or so. If we hit some of these spots, getting some of the heavier downpour, but also the snow, it's going to be off to the north and west of LA, across the Fraser Park area, moving up towards Bakersfield. We do have some snow in our higher elevations near that Grapevine area across the San Gabriels, but also the Verdugo Mountains. We show anything from our heavy rainfall or moderate rainfall to some snowfall coming down up there. Out across the LA area, down towards the Long Beach, Hawthorne, Torrance, El Monte, Anaheim region. We do have some light to moderate rain coming down in this hour. We are expecting to continue with the scattered to isolated rain from tonight, rolling over into tomorrow morning as well. Some of our mountain snow may stick around into our weekend. On Saturday, we should see those wrap up during those early morning hours. And then we are in store for high pressure. It will move in for us this weekend, so it's going to dry us out, most of us, but then also bring in some warmer temperatures, and then that will stick around for us for our holiday week. So it's good to get all this rain out the way for now. Temperatures for today came in at 62 degrees, so slightly up from yesterday by 2 degrees, and then our normal 71 degrees. We've been falling short of that for about a week now. We do have, again, some light rain out in the LA area. Temperatures, we're at 52 degrees for downtown right now, and our winds pushing just at about 3 miles per hour. Let's talk about rain accumulating through this finale, our third storm system for the week. We are looking at, I'd say, as much as, I'd say, 1.25 inches for most of the area through Saturday. And then we do have some of our mountains, but also our hills that could see 1 to 2 inches accumulated across the entire storm event. Now, as far as our mountains go, we are looking at about 3 to 8 inches into some of our higher elevations. You'll see that here across the Big Bear area, but also near Wrightwood there. So we'll continue to monitor things, see how they play out. But just note that we do have that flood warning going into effect 10 p.m. tonight, and it will go through tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. hour. Currently temperatures in the 40s as well as the 50s, and then tomorrow we're shooting for a high of 63 degrees for LA. Phil.
Seems like that flood warning is pretty much 24/7. Thank you, Star. We'll check back with you later. So tonight, no matter where you are, you're likely feeling this latest storm's impact. Hopefully no problems in your neighborhood. Let's continue our team coverage live with Fox 11's Matthew. Don't call me Matt Seedorf. He's in Long Beach, where flooding is a possibility tonight. Matthew, what's the latest?
Yeah, a lot of people watching that closely. We had one of those heavier rain bands actually just kind of slow down here within the last minute or so, but it was going down pretty good. I got my pants wet. I didn't get to put those waterproof pants on just yet, so that's unfortunate for me. But yeah, it's definitely one of those cold, wet, and kind of dreary nights out here. But a lot of people concerned about flooding because they had some issues just a few days ago from the previous storm, and they're watching this very closely. Tonight, Southern California once again in the crosshairs of a powerful storm. Bands of heavy rain now starting to roll in, knocking down this tree in Studio City, causing a traffic mess. Los Angeles County under a flood watch through Friday morning.
We have, neighbors with sandbags, and hopefully that helps make sure that the water doesn't end up where it doesn't belong.
In Long Beach's Naples neighborhood, they're not taking chances.
They brought us sandbags. They brought the neighbors sandbags.
The last storm flooding their street with enough water for kids to kayak.
It was just amazing. It was fun.
There was something wrong with the pumps or the pumping system in the drains, so I think they fixed that. I'm hoping, but I do worry about it.
This marks the fourth storm to soak Southern California in just 1 week.
It just takes a little bit of rain and it gets flooded the whole entire street.
The ground and people worn out from all the rain.
Don't you just love working in this?
In the mountains, a winter storm warning has been issued. Some higher elevation spots could get a foot of snow or more.
There's a lot of water for the trees and fire prevention, so it's every drop of water or snowflake that we get here is great for the small mountain community.
The overnight storm expected to bring heavy rain and snow across the region, some now bracing for possible flooding. They say they fixed the pumps?
I hope so. So far, so good. Hasn't rained too hard yet, but hopefully they last and keeps the water out of our houses.
Definitely a cold night, especially once you get wet with all that wind. But again, a lot of people watching this closely worried about flooding. Go ahead and send it back to Phil, not Philip.
Correct. So, Christina Gonzalez had it in her story earlier, Matthew, and you had it. Can you explain a little more for people? What are these pumps that everybody keeps referring to? What do they do?
Yeah, so in those low-lying areas that are prone to flooding, some of the cities have pumps to prevent that from happening. And, of course, when the pumps break and you get a lot of rainfall like we've had recently, you've got flooding.
All right. Well, let's hope that they work as intended. All right. Thank you.
Let it snow. The latest storm is hitting Southern California right now. That includes snow and rain. Snow on our mountains.
It can totally wash out at any time. It's precarious along Palisades Drive.
Rain coming down in burn areas like the Pacific Palisades and Altadena tonight. Everyone holding their breath. Welcome, everyone, to the Fox 11 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Marla Tejas. And I'm Christine Devine. Another fall storm plows through Southern California, bringing that rain, snow, and cold temperatures. We do have team coverage. Ed Lascos and Matthew Seedorf are out in the elements, monitoring conditions. But let's begin with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger.
Well, we've got that rain out there still, and it's going to pick up and get a little heavier here as we go into the night. In fact, starting right now at 10 p.m. through 7 a.m., a flash flood watch for areas in green goes into effect. So that's most of L.A. County, as again, some scattered heavy rain is expected tonight. It won't be as widespread as what we saw today, where everyone got rain, but areas where some of that heavy rain forms tonight, that could cause some flooding issues. And actually, just about a minute ago, a new flash flood warning was issued. We'll look at that in a moment. So here's the wide view. You can see there's kind of a spin or a rotation to this broad system coming through. There's a tighter part of rotation right here south of Oxnard that's going to end up into L.A. County in the middle of the night. That's what may spark some of those stronger and heavier downpours. Right now, though, we see some heavy rain taking shape here in Orange County, and that spot right there that's outlined in this red box, this was a flash flood warning literally just issued about a minute ago. It's in effect till midnight because about a half an inch to an inch of rain has fallen here. And what we're seeing currently are rain rates up to 0.7 to 0.8 inches per hour. So we're getting up into that territory where the rain's coming down fast enough to where we may see some flash flooding in this particular spot right here. You can see the red colors on radar indicating the heavier downpours. Now watch what happens as we go a little later into the night. So what we're seeing currently is kind of on this front edge of everything, but notice this tighter spin right here. So after midnight, we expect this area, maybe parts of L.A. County to Orange County, could find some of those heavier downpours once again, maybe some strong thunderstorms out of this that may produce some strong wind gusts. So that's all happening in the middle of the night. Our model shows it mostly between about 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. We go to 7 a.m. There's still some scattered rain out there during the morning hours. And then as we gradually go through the day tomorrow, we expect the rain to mostly wind down, with the exception being some parts of the mountains and maybe far east or some of the mountains. We still see some rain Saturday, but we know we're going to be drying out overall as we go into the weekend. So that part of the forecast is looking nice. But again, we've got some issues here we're going to watch for tonight. We'll talk a little more about the potential rain totals and potential snow totals coming up in our extended forecast a little later. But for now, back to you.
All right, very good. Adam, thanks. From the ocean to the mountains, yet another storm has arrived tonight. Everyone is feeling the impact. Continuing our team coverage, let's go to Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf. He's live in Seal Beach with what it's like there right now, and it looks like you're getting it pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool and windy right now. We just had one of those heavy rain bands come through that Adam was talking about. You can see this where we are along PCH, all the ponding on the side of the roadway here. And then if Al will flip it this way, you can see it goes all the way down this direction. This happened in only about 20 minutes of that heavy rain, as much more rain is expected tonight. Tonight, Southern California once again in the crosshairs of a powerful storm. Bands of heavy rain now starting to roll in, knocking down this tree in Studio City, causing a traffic mess. Los Angeles County under a flood watch through Friday morning.
We have, neighbors with sandbags, and hopefully that helps make sure that the water doesn't end up where it doesn't belong.
In Long Beach's Naples neighborhood, they're not taking chances.
They brought us sandbags. They brought the neighbors sandbags.
The last storm flooding their street with enough water for kids to kayak.
It was just amazing. It was fun.
There was something wrong with the pumps or the pumping system in the drains, so I think they fixed that. I'm hoping, but I do worry about it.
This marks the fourth storm to soak Southern California in just 1 week.
It just takes a little bit of rain and it gets flooded the whole entire street.
The ground and people worn out from all the rain.
Don't you just love working in this?
Man, I'm trying my best.
In the mountains, a winter storm warning has been issued. Some higher elevation spots could get a foot of snow or more.
There's a lot of water for the trees and fire prevention, so it's every drop of water or snowflake that we get here is great for the small mountain community.
The overnight storm expected to bring heavy rain and snow across the region, some now bracing for possible flooding. They say they fixed the pumps.
I hope so. So far, so good. Hasn't rained too hard yet, but hopefully they last and keeps the water out of our houses.
A lot of people watching those pumps closely tonight, but you can see we're in a break of the storm here in Seal Beach, but still dealing with the remnants from that about 20 minutes of very heavy rainfall. Again, much more expected later tonight. Reporting live, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
All right, Matthew, thank you. SoCal Edison scheduled a power outage tonight for the town of Wrightwood from 10 o'clock right now until 10 a.m. tomorrow, and many residents are upset and concerned for their safety given the current storm.
I am autoimmune compromised myself. I have MS. So, yeah, I'm very concerned. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to end up in the hospital because they're doing this.
What's your message to SoCal Edison?
Think smart.
So when I spoke to Brenda Smith within just less than an hour ago, she reported it was 33 degrees in Wrightwood and snowing. She sent me these very snowy images from her property. She says the scheduled power outage is designed to update SoCal Edison equipment and handle some maintenance. Smith says she contacted the utility company yesterday to urge them to reschedule, but never connected with a representative. SoCal Edison telling Fox 11 tonight, quote, "We know that this is a hardship for our customers, but sometimes this maintenance has to be done." Meanwhile, I just talked to Brenda and she tells me that the power is still on and the site now says no power outage scheduled.
The National Weather Service has now declared a flood watch for many parts of Southern California. There's a risk of flooding and debris flow, especially in the recent burn scar areas. Team coverage live with Fox 11's Ed Lascos in Malibu with the latest for us. Ed.
And Christine, we have the rain here, a soaking rain the last couple of hours. What is different from this latest storm from all the others? It's a cold storm, a cold wind blowing through. Mikey, take us into it. Across PCH here, talking about the wind. Look at that flag over there by that Arco, the mobile station, blowing like crazy. The wind coming through here, the rain coming through. Further down Pacific Coast Highway, Las Flores Canyon, you may recognize it, the cross there. World famous Duke's restaurant temporarily closed. Took a direct hit from a debris flow, mud flow, an earlier storm back in February, and now all these months later, we're still dealing with that threat. Watch. Rain and lots of it. Look at this, would you? It's coming down here in sheets, while those in the fire zones hope the hillsides don't come down like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, it can totally wash out at any time. It's precarious along Palisades Drive. It looks like the sides of the cliffs could just come down at any moment, you know.
Very threatening.
It is. It's scary.
All through the fire zone, from Pacific Palisades up to Malibu, this latest storm, the third to strike here in less than a week, brings with it a feeling of uncertainty.
There's nothing holding them, especially the hillsides here on Sunset. I noticed over here, the apartment buildings, it's kind of coming down. So hopefully they're going to put up some retaining walls and make sure that we're a little bit more protected, especially because I heard we're going to have a lot more rain.
And a lot of that rain already here. Caltrans crews out in the rain working, checking on the drainage here along PCH. Up here to this Caltrans plow near the tunnel on Malibu Canyon. While in the burnt-out Palisades, city crews checking on the debris basins here near the Highlands. This one already choked with mud, thick mud.
There's mudslides all the time. I live up in the top, way on the top towards Saddle Peak, and there's 8 houses in a row that burnt down, so the neighbors are concerned that mud will spread down.
It really is the looming threat when you look up at the hillsides here. Check it, they're blackened, barren, but holding steady from the firestorm now to this latest storm.
It's going to give. Eventually, there'll be stuff.
And this rain just keeps coming and coming.
It keeps coming, and it's making the soil very loose, and it's a problem.
And And now live, that problem not going away anytime soon. When you talk to a lot of folks here up on the burnt out hillsides, they say that threat continues, and they start thinking about common sense with all the rain we've had, all these storms, as they've been saying, sooner or later something's got to give. Really hope they're wrong on that. For now, we're live here in Malibu. Back to the west side we go.
Another powerful storm sweeping through Southern California. It is bringing rain, snow, and those cold temperatures.
It's also bringing the threat of flooding and mudslides. We have Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger tracking the storm here in studio at Lascos in the Palisades burn area. But we begin with Matthew Seedorf tonight. Matthew?
Yeah, we had some torrential downpours here in Seal Beach about 30 minutes ago. It had some street flooding here along the PCH. You can see it's gone down quite a bit in the last 30 minutes or so. But even over here, just look how saturated this ground is. And that's pretty a scary thought with how much rain is expected tonight and very heavy rates. In nearby Long Beach, they're watching the storm very closely. They had some flooding in the storm earlier this week. Again, they're worried tonight.
We have, neighbors with sandbags, and hopefully that helps make sure that the water doesn't end up where it doesn't belong.
There was something wrong with the pumps or the pumping system in the drains, so I think they fixed that. I'm hoping, but I do worry about it.
Say they fixed the pumps?
I hope so. So far, so good. Hasn't rained too hard yet, but hopefully they last and keeps the water out of our house.
Yeah, the heavy rainfall really impacting this portion of Orange County tonight. But again, right now we're getting a little bit of a break. Much more rainfall expected overnight. Reporting live, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Looks nice behind you there. All right, there is a risk of flooding and debris flow, especially in the recent burn scar areas. Team coverage live with Fox 11's Ed Lascos in the Malibu area with the latest. Ed?
And Christine, we just had a good downpour here a couple of minutes ago, eased off, but I'll tell you what is different from this storm than the last couple that have hit us just in the past week alone. This one is a cold storm, cold wind, whipping the rain around. Mikey, quick look, will you show us that flag over there, right across Pacific Coast Highway at the Las Flores Canyon here, right by Dukes. That flag's been blowing like crazy all night long as the bands of rain come through. Talking about the rain, to the video we go. Have a look, a rain-soaked PCH right through the burn area here in Malibu, Pacific Palisades. Raining, coming down in sheets, raining like crazy, coming down like this. While the folks who are in this burn zone are hoping the hillsides don't come down like this. You bet they're watching the hillsides very closely. Everybody else is too. Caltrans out in force up and down PCH, making sure all the drainage is open for all the water that's flowing by with all the rain coming by. Also saw some of Caltrans with their heavy equipment, the big plows up on the canyons, Las Virgenes Canyon, right through the tunnel on the other side. They usually have some rocks coming down there. Not the case yet tonight, but yes, they're monitoring it. Also, we have city crews up in the Palisades, the burnt out area in the Highlands down Palisades Drive. There, as you know, if you're familiar with that area, they have a lot of those debris basins. They've been checking them. We checked out a couple of them too. They're holding up yet, but I'll tell you, they're packed with a lot of mud, thick, gooey mud from the storms the last couple of days. Sounds funny to say how the third storm in less than a week as we come back out live looking on PCH. Traffic light here. I should tell you, though, about 5 minutes just before we started talking to you, you had a couple of boneheads, and I'll call them that, racing going north on PCH, blowing by with these wet roads. How dangerous is that? Also, CHP to that point out. They've got some units over there, so maybe they caught those speeders. But anyway, it's a treacherous night out here, but so far no problems in the burn area. Let's hope it stays that way through the night. Back to the west side.
All right, Ed, we don't want those boneheads, those drivers, to do any harm to anyone. My goodness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It looked like it wasn't raining there, nor in Matthew's story.
Right. So we knew today during the day would be the widespread kind of light and moderate rain going into tonight. Heavy spots, but not raining everywhere.
Spots.
Yeah, spots. So scattered kind of tonight.
It's a couple hours away, and then it's going to come down pretty good.
Yeah, and we already had one instance of what I think we'll start to see more of later tonight, and that's around Huntington Beach, where in 30 minutes, an inch of rain fell just a short time ago.
Oh, wow.
And that little system has or little piece of energy is kind of scooted past Huntington Beach right now. I'll show you all that on the radar here in a moment, but there might be more examples like that tonight where we get a quick inch or so of rain in some spots. Before we even get to that, though, a look at our time lapse out of Santa Monica today, and kind of that gloomy scene, of course, with all the rain moving through. We've seen A lot of this over the course of the last 7 days. We've got sunshine, though, in the forecast. It's coming up, but we have still tonight to get through, which could be a little rocky at times. So a flood watch is now in effect. This officially went into effect at 10 o'clock tonight. It lasts until 7 o'clock in the morning. So basically during the night tonight, we expect not widespread, but scattered pockets of heavy rain. We already saw one instance. Right now, there's a flash flood warning here in Orange County, including Huntington Beach. And you see on the 1 hour loop, for a time, there was this orange and red kind of flash on the radar. That, excuse me, that's what dropped an inch of rain in 30 minutes, which, if you do the math, would be a 2 inch per hour rain rate. That means if rain that heavy stayed in that one spot for an hour, we would have wound up with 2 inches. But that's a high rain rate. Now that rain has kind of let up a little as it headed up toward Anaheim, around El Monte right now. But you see, we still see some fairly widespread rain. There's some snow coming down the mountains. We'll address that in a moment. But as we show you the wider view, if you kind of just look at the whole screen right here, you can see a bit of a counterclockwise spin. And the center of that circulation is a little bit tighter right about here. And that's what's going to head into L.A. and Orange County in the middle of the night, which could enhance some of the rain and kick up some of those heavier downpours, maybe even some strong thunderstorms that may produce some strong wind gusts. Even a tornado somewhere in the middle of the night tonight can't be ruled out because of the spin of this system. If it happens, it should be brief and weak, but still it could happen. All right, let's talk about the winter alerts now. So we have a winter weather advisory in that purple, and then a more severe winter storm warning in pink. That's where the heaviest snow is expected to be. Out towards the purple zones, a couple inches below 6,000 feet down to about 5,000. Maybe up to half a foot above 6,000 feet. Then we come over into places like Big Bear, San Bernardino Mountains, down through Riverside County Mountains as well. And you see the differences above 7,500 feet. There could be a foot or more of snow. 7,000 to 7,500 feet, 7 to 11 inches, and still about 4 to 8 inches from 6 to 7,000 feet. Okay, so that's the snow. That warning is in effect through tomorrow afternoon. All right, Futurecast now is going to show what I was talking about. So there's a pretty well-defined center of circulation right here with this broad system coming through. We call that a vortmax, or vorticity maximum if you want to Google it. But the short version is it's basically where the winds kind of converge and there's a tighter circulation, and that enhances and strengthens some of the rain. And so you see some of the red on Futurecast indicating those heavier downpours. That's 2 in the morning, by the way. 4 in the morning, that could be the case as well. So this may cause some flash flood warnings in the middle of the night. Here we go into 7 a.m. People starting to get out the door maybe at this time. There's still some rain out there, but moving a little farther inland into the IE, maybe the valleys, into the mountains as well. And then as we continue through the day tomorrow, less and less rain as we go deeper into the day. Then Saturday, way out east, maybe a few little showers there towards Palm Springs. That's going to be it for rain for a while. For several days anyways. Our temperatures tomorrow, we start the morning in the 50s. We're going to top out at least in the low 60s, a little warmer than today, but still on the cool side. You can see around the rest of our region the overall cool temps. We've been having that winter feel now for several days. Are we kind of used to it? Maybe. 7-day forecast. So for LA, Orange County, about a 30% rain chance tomorrow. That's mostly in the morning, less in the afternoon. Saturday, how about 71 degrees and no rain in the forecast, and sunny on Sunday, maybe down a degree or two, but quiet weather into next week. Thursday, by the way, is Thanksgiving. 75 degrees, no rain, looking really good there. All right, for the coast, kind of the same story tomorrow in the morning. Again, some scattered showers, but drying out later in the day. Dry for the rest of the 7-day forecast. The valleys and the Inland Empire, same story here. We've got some 70-degree temps back for the weekend. More 70s next week. And we continue with a few more cold days with the snow up in the mountains, especially above 6,000 feet. That'll be the case still on Saturday, perhaps, but then sunny, dry on Sunday. Sunny and warmer for next week. Back to you.